Welcome back. We are here live in the studio in this special edition of Autism Live on World Autism Awareness Day. In the studio, I have Joanne Lara sitting next to me from Autism Works Now, Autism Movement Therapy. To her left, we have Navah-Paskowitz Asner from the Ed Asner Family Center, which we're excited that, because for a while this has been in the works, but not something we could talk about. But not to be left out, Matt Asner sitting next to her from Autism Society of America.
Thank you.
So it's quite the panel that we have here. And in this segment, we want to talk about this announcement. You guys put out a press release. This is happening in June.
Well, God willing is what I always say. But it's something that I've been working on for many years with Ed, my father-in-law, the wonderful Ed Asner. And Ed has a son with autism, a grown son, my nephew Charlie. And he said to me when I was working at the Chabad and I was doing support groups for families, and I just felt like the next step was to do something of our own. And he said, you know, for me, I'm not going to help you. And he said that in his gruff voice. He said, I'm not going to be a part of this unless you do some element of job training and vocational.
And the arts.
And that, yes, the arts. But for Ed, that was his prime motivation, was to have a place where we could take care of the entire family, but also focus on the thing that mattered so much to him, was that Charlie couldn't get a job. So, and I brought my expertise of support groups and finding families and reaching out and being a mentor to a lot of special needs families. My passion really was getting low or no cost mental health support for special needs families, not just autism. It was imperative to me that because Matt and I come from a autism background and we're so delved into the autism community, that I don't leave out this huge population of my personal friends and families who are struggling and need support just as much as we do. So the next step for me was getting my experts in place, and the first person I thought of was John Laura. Because I can't think of anyone more experienced, more qualified, and I really had no experience in adult services and vocational services. But I also wanted dance. I mean, dance was a huge part of my children's life, and so there was music and art and dance, and how do we put this all together? And so for us, I don't like to do anything half-assed. I can't say, can I say that?
Yeah,
You just did.
Okay, I said it. Sorry, I have 8 brothers, that's my excuse.
That's okay.
And so really, for me personally, it's been getting the best parts of the community that are already existing, that we all take our children to, we know, we love, we trust, under one roof. So we've had Joanne come in and AMT and my mind just went to look like Spectrum Laboratory and the Miracle Project and Elaine Hall. But also I've had my friend and mental health supporter for 7 years, Krissa Assad. And Krissa, you met Krissa, she came in, and she's incredible with autism in particular, but she's incredible with teenagers. And
she's MFT.
Yes, but she also runs specific workshops for different things that we felt were really missing in the community, like girls only sexual awareness class. We thought that was incredibly important.
We were just talking about that.
Especially in the world of Facebook Messenger and all these things where the kids are doing things, and they really are. I mean, I thank God every day I have a boy with autism, and it's a horrible thing to say, but these innocent, some of them emotionally, 6 years old with full-grown women bodies. And so these classes that were on our list, these are all parent-driven classes. So we have parents who have been polled, and I've been taking these surveys from parents for years now. What are your #1 priorities? So for them, my parents getting the ability to have support groups within each category. So a mom's support group, a dad's support group, typical siblings, grandparents, and an individual, for each individual diagnosis eventually. We're going to start out mixing everyone together, and I think one mom and one dad can support each other, whether they have a child on the spectrum or a son or daughter with cerebral palsy.
Right. And so, for people who have no idea and didn't read the press release, you're going to create a place, and the flagship is going to be here in Los Angeles.
We've narrowed it down to a few spaces. It's really difficult because I want Joanne to have the most beautiful dance studio and space, and I want Spec Lab to be able to soundproof their room, and Garth was like in tears, almost like, I can have the drums again. But I also need all of those office spaces for support groups and one-on-one sessions and stuff. So we really are, and we welcome support from people. We can't do what we are doing without donations and without support. And I've made it my goal that we're going to be open by June. We want to have a mini summer camp by this summer. So we live in the Valley, and the Valley would be our first choice. But we are, we're looking everywhere, and we.
Okay. But you're creating a place where families can go, and the whole family can be supported.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's going to be a one-stop shop.
Right.
So you walk into the center, and a mom can take a yoga or mindfulness class. The dad can go and our dad support groups are very specific. I know that dads aren't going to sit around and talk about their feelings. So
they're not going to do the vision board and do it.
No. So I definitely, I might even throw a pool table in there. I want
baby steps.
I want the dads
Baby
to feel
steps.
comfortable. It might be that they're going out of the building and going for a walk or a hike or whatever. But the main thing is you have a one-stop shop, and at the same time that the parents are doing something uplifting spiritually, mentally, physically, the children and the teens and the adults are doing the same thing. They're either doing an enrichment or doing job training, and we're going to have, and I'll let Joanne talk a little more about our actual within the center job site mentoring program. But it's the most important part to me, and we'd like to be open 6 days a week. We're going to be closed on Friday. I think the most important thing is that you have a place where it's going to be a community, and I want to have these communities in every major city in the nation, because I think the main motivator for me was the feeling of being all alone. I was going through a divorce. I was a single mom. I needed mental health support. I was having anxiety attacks 24 hours a day, and I couldn't afford to see somebody. Yeah. So for me, my fundraising is solely for being able to offer mental health support and at low or no cost. That's my biggest motivator, and I can't do that without fundraising support.
Right. So big effort for people to support.
Yes.
Where can they go to find out more information and maybe
our website, www.edasnerfamilycenter.org.
Okay.
That's the best place to go.
Okay. And Joanne is here, and you're a big piece of this.
For the adult piece. I also wanted to add, for the mental health, it just dawned on me while you're speaking what would be so great. We have so many, 4 out of 5 families with moderate to severe individuals with autism are separated or divorced. And those 2 individuals need so much guidance that's not out there for them. They're either on one team over here or another team over there, but nobody counsels them together about their child. And so they end up taking all their issues to their friends. And if we could...
And that's, again, going back to what Anita said, we have these 2 opposing teams rather than, and I think it goes back to supporting the entirety of the family. You're supporting these kids, and the whole entirety of the foundation is falling apart. So one of the things we'd like to bring in also is having a law center within the center and having family law support and pooled trusts and things that families with special needs, they need different kind of family law support. And when you go into battle, which we have it's a totally different animal, and you're dealing with a judge who doesn't really, he's not versed on these things. So I think that's an important factor in our center, is to be able to support the parents in every avenue of their life.
Yeah.
And you were saying the other day that, and I agree with you, there's a lot that needs to happen when a child reaches transition age legally. Maybe, maybe not, but
Absolutely.
but that people need help with.
At 18, age of majority. That's right. We have to decide what if they are
What's
going to
happen?
have
What's going to happen?
their own determination of their own rights,
Yeah.
or if someone's going to come in and help. Now they can have, well, legally we know they can have certain areas that they have manifestation over, and others over maybe education and monetary.
But it's complicated.
But it's very complicated, and you need an attorney or advocate for you, or someone that can help you sort it all out. That's for sure.
Some of the smartest people in the world have looked at me and in complete horror and said, "I have no idea what to do."
Really?
And oh yeah, sure. Yeah.
Yes.
And everyone needs help.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Nava, we had a question for you from Stella. She says, I love, all in caps, the one-stop shop for the whole family. Can you
Thanks,
mentor
Stella.
other cities and communities?
Absolutely. I mean, our goal is to put this model in every major hub in the nation. And I've already had interest from different cities of people saying, let us help you. I will help you create it if we can do it here. So that's really why I have this tight team, is I want to be able to. Joanna's already doing that with her certification program, by the way. So your part is easier. But I think the main thing is just getting. And I have had so many wonderful MFTs and everyone in every field come to me and say, how can we just do a mitzvah? How can we donate our time? So I think if in each community, that's going to be the key, is having the community go out and find their facility, even if it's in a church or a temple, to get some donated space. And unless somebody, unless Elon Musk wants to donate $5 million to me, I'll take that. To $5 billion, I guess it would take to get it. But I'm totally open to that.
Which would be awesome.
Yeah.
Which would be awesome. And that's not what,
Yeah.
I mean, if
That's
not him,
the
somebody
bummer.
else, I mean, there are people out there.
No,
who
but I
write
mean, the
check.
thing is that we want, our goal is just to help as many families as we can. And I think this is the one missing element. It was definitely the missing element for me, and from what I'm hearing from other parents, it's the missing element for a lot of families that feel that they are just getting by with their heads down on the treadmill. They're surviving, but they're not thriving. And I want people to thrive. I want people to find joy in their lives. Even the ones that say, they hate their life and they hate autism. Maybe they just need to find something that inspires them. And maybe the moms need to have, something every day that they look forward to.
It gets people out of the house, which is really important.
Well,
It gets them,
And with like mind.
Exactly. That's the whole thing. I mean, you and I both have said a million times that our lives didn't change until we found a friend who just, I had so much support in the beginning, but I know so many families that feel completely all alone in that bubble.
Well, and I've thought this was a great idea from the first minute that
we've been
you
talking about this for years.
I've been in your court saying this is great. When my child was little, a friend said to me, and he was just about to be diagnosed, and my whole life seemed to be getting smaller, even just having a child. And a friend said to me, "Oh, you need to go to the local YMCA because that's where you're going to find all the things that you want, and there's childcare, and there's all, and I had this expectation of what it was going to be. We were there, I think, 14 days before they said that my son wasn't welcome. He was 3, he wasn't even 3, he was 2.5, and that he was no longer welcome because they found out that he had gotten an autism diagnosis. And so we were effectively kicked out of the YMCA. And I've always thought, how come for the neurotypical kids there was this place where they could go and they could take classes, and there were classes the parents could take? Why was there nothing for us? So I have always said, this is brilliant, and I thank you for moving it forward.
Thank you.
I know it hasn't been easy, but I know you're going to get it done.
I think that I couldn't have done this without my father-in-law. I couldn't have done this without Matt and the community, who really have been incredibly supportive.
Well,
and
when the stars align, you know you're doing something right, right?
Yes.
All right.
100%.
Or what I say is, when you ask the universe, she answers.
Yeah.
Ah, I like that
God.
too. That's wonderful.